Hey guys, welcome back to Tiny House Customs. I'm Dan, and in today's video I'm going to snap all my lines on my trailer so I know where my walls go, and then I'm going to cut all my plates. First thing I'm going to do is take a framing square. I'm going to hold it tight to the rim board, which is that outside piece of wood. Make sure I'm sitting good with that. And I'm going to mark 3.5 inches, which will represent the inside of my 2x4 wall. I'm going to do that on all 4 corners. Make sure that when I hook my chalk line on the end here, I'm good with my line. I'm going to make sure that this is run reasonably straight, and I'll place my speed square on there, and I'll mark that across like that so that I know that I'm running good. There's different colors of chalk you can buy. There's red, black, blue. There's a maroon one that they just came out with. Snapping lines on the deck, I'd recommend using red or black. It's going to be more permanent. The blue tends to wash out. I would use blue on trim. So when you hook your chalk line on the end, come all the way out to the end, wrap the chalk line around 2 fingers, and pull really tight, really tight. Put it on your mark, use your thumb to push down on the line. Make sure you get a lot of chalk in it so it leaves a good mark. So if you had your wheel wells installed and you couldn't snap a line all the way through, what I recommend doing is from this point right here, mark 12 inches. Or whatever would clear that wheel well, and mark that on both ends. Once you have it marked on both ends, take your chalk line, hook it on there, pull it really tight again, and snap that line. Now that's just going to be a reference mark. That's got nothing to do with the house. And then right where your wheel well would be, from that mark, you come out 12 inches, put a mark right here, and you can snap this section. That way you know that this line is running good. If your trailer's got a bow in it, if you were to pull in from this point, this line would end up, being one side or the other. So I know that this wall is now running perfectly straight down the length of the trailer. I always want to make sure things are square when I'm building my tiny house. I'm going to put a nail right on that corner, on the inside of that corner, so that when I hook my tape measure up, it comes right to that point. And I'll do the same on the other side. When you're putting that nail, if you make sure that the nail, this side of the nail is on this side of the line, and you make sure that this side of the nail is on this side of the line, it'll be right where you need it. You might have to do some fine tuning. On the end of your tape measure's got that little hole. The nail will go right on that. You just want to make sure that that tape measure is good with that crosshair that these 2 lines create. Then I'll hook onto this, and I'll measure down to here, and I have 20 foot 10 and a half. Then I'll check the other side, and I'm about a 30-second short of being perfectly square, which I feel is perfectly acceptable. Now if you weren't square and you needed to move this line in or out to make it square, you could move this line out to where it needed to be, and then you could unscrew your ledger board on the outside, put some shims in behind it, refasten it, and that'll create this perfectly square trailer. After I get all my lines snapped, I can start getting my plates ready. What the plates are the pieces of wood that go on the top and the bottom of my wall. I'm going to nail these together. I'm going to cut them to length so that I'm exactly at 20 feet. And then I'm going to lay them out with all my doors, my windows, all my studs. And then once that's done, I can separate them, and I'll be able to add in all the pieces of wood that I need to create my wall. By laying them out together like this, it ensures that everything is standing completely level and vertical. So I'm going to make sure I'm flush on the end. I'm going to do a tack nail. I don't want to put the tack nail on the end here. I want it in. If I put it on the end here, it's going to split this wood. So I'm flush on the end here. And just tack it together like that so you can still pull the nail. I also want to put a mark at 3.5 inches, and that mark's going to go right on my line that I snapped on my floor. Now because my walls are over 20 feet, I got to have a joint in it. I'm going to have the joint directly over the wheel well because the bottom plate's going to get cut out, and the top plate, I'll end up adding another top plate, which I call it, on top of this to join the walls together. I want to make sure that the end of the piece that I just nailed is flush, and then I can take my next 2 plates, flush them up, tack them together, and butt them up together. Now since I was messing with it down there, I want to make sure that this is still on its line. And then right here I can mark my 3.5 inch mark. I'll lay this up like this, and I'll mark this across. Now I want this wall to run the full length of my trailer, so from that mark I'm going to mark 3.5 inches. I'm just going to hold a random number, 7 inches, whatever, and then I'm going to count over 1, 2, 3.5 inches. It's more accurate than using the end of the tape measure because it's got a little bit of movement in it. Your number's not going to be as accurate, and it also is running on a diagonal, which can throw off your number just a little bit. When you're cutting these, if you set your depth all the way down, if you cut the top one, it'll put a mark in the bottom one, and then you can move the top one, and you'll be able to cut the bottom one. I want both my 20-foot walls to run the full length of my trailer. My two end ones are going to sit inside of that red line. Now I can measure from red line to red line, get that number and mark it, or I can just tack them together flush. I'll make sure I hold it good on this side, make sure it's running good with that red line. Then I could use this side of the square, hold it on my red line, and just mark it straight up. Straight up, dog. Once that's done, I can cut it. I'll just double check it. I'm good with my line here, and I'm good with my line here. Now you can see here that these plates aren't flush. I want to make sure they are, so I'll make sure this one's running square, which it is. I'll use this plate as a reference to cut the bottom one. Now that I have all my plates laid out, I can go back and start laying them out for all the windows and doors, as well as the studs. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you liked the video and you felt it was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, guys. Did you notice my fancy eye protection? It's because it was sunny. Hello, Peanut.
Hello, how are you guys today? So listen, I have a story to tell you.